Thanks for joining in to this hangout session of Go Brackets. Today we have Vatsal Jain with us. I am Ahmedabad 2012-14 alumni, and he is currently working in PayTM, heading the sales over there. Vatsal is today going to help us answer questions such as how would MBA help us for entrepreneurship, and generally, the professors try and question on whether you really need an MBA to start up, and there are questions around, that most of the successful people who have started up have not done their MBA, etc. So Vatsal is going to help us in understanding how we answer these questions and also in answering them with proper examples. So, Vatsal, thanks for joining us today and agreeing to do this session. Over to you, Vatsal.
Yeah, thanks, Surita. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, all. I see Mr. Harshit joined here. So, Harshit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So let's start then here. So basically today's discussion topic, I'll just reiterate for people who have not read the mails maybe. How will MBA help you in becoming an entrepreneur? Do you need to be an MBA to do your startup? And how many successful founders are there who have done MBAs? And why don't you start up now? The environment is conducive. Why would you spend 2 years and a significant amount of money in doing your MBA? So first of all, the overall perspective which we'll keep today is basically just to answer the question when it is asked in any MBA interview. So first of all, you need to understand that what does MBA do to you and what basically an entrepreneur mean. And one more thing I would like to clarify, which I used to make big mistakes when I was preparing for CAT and all, that we just keep the things at a normal generic ground where it has to do with an entrepreneur or a B school or somebody like a faculty, teacher and all. You need to create your own story there. You need to show that it's my story. I want to become an entrepreneur, or I want to do an MBA and then become an entrepreneur. And that's how the answer should be framed. So first of all, maybe if somebody from you can help me, like, what does MBA do to you? If anybody can volunteer, what do you think? What MBA do to you?
I will just take a shot at this. So, being through MBA, so MBA basically helps you in understanding a lot of things on the business front. So, in terms of running a business, there are different things that are to be done. You need to design your product, your service, and you need to kind of market it, and then you need to have an organization. You need to manage your people, and you need to deal with customers, etc. So this is something which just probably, out of engineering, I may not have a deeper understanding on this, but probably an MBA can help me in gaining this perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Very well defined. So just to summarize, it's like the any good B school or any MBA degree. Once you are certified with that, it means that you have a holistic view of whatever a particular business enterprise mean and what are the different functions of a particular business. Now, once you come out of any B school, you have three options in front of you. Either you join any other company, like most of them do, or you go into a specific sector, specific technology, or say a specific company, and you become very specific. Or third is you start something of your own. So when you start something of your own after an MBA, what you require? So you require some entrepreneurial qualities. So again, so just to summarize, what are the qualities of an entrepreneur? So who is an entrepreneur basically? So I think an entrepreneur is somebody who has a clear vision, who knows what I need to do, and basically it is related to a particular business. So he knows that I have this vision, and through this business model or through this business process, I'll get this vision completed. So for example, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to increase the logistics companies in the country. Maybe my vision would be to make the logistics as simple as possible, and I need to create a business and I need to make it sustainable. For that, if I want to do an MBA, I have these many things which I need to do. I need to understand supply chain, I need to understand marketing, sales, whatever, and then I'll open this thing. But the problem here is most of us don't have that kind of clarity. Now, if you don't have that kind of clarity, then what your answer should have been when you answer this, that why you want to be an entrepreneur after MBA. So basically, you need to relate what are the qualities of an entrepreneur. So I think the first and foremost quality of an entrepreneur is the vision. He has the vision. Second quality is that he has the ability to take that initiative, to stand out of the crowd, to keep all the things which are already there, which are easily available from many other people. You need to like have that ability that I am removing all these things from life, or all these things, all these options, all these opportunities, and then I am going against the flow, against the crowd. Third thing I think is the risk taking, which is the biggest thing. After doing an MBA, your opportunity cost would be higher. Maybe you might have different responsibilities of your day-to-day life, and keeping all this in mind, again you take the risk and you go. Then another important thing is personal skills, and I think people skills is one of the important, because you need to build your team if you are starting from scratch. And then one of the key ideas you should have, that this is something. So again, it's related to vision. So basically, whenever you say that I want to be an entrepreneur, you should have the ability to stand out of the crowd. You have the vision and you should stand out. That means your empathy or your way of communicating of answer should be very assertive. Secondly, you should show that I have the ability to take initiatives. So I can take initiatives. I have taken initiatives in my college, maybe in my family, in my previous work, whatever. And last is you need to show that I can take the risk. Yes, I have the ability to not to think like the crowd. I can put all these things at stake. I can delay my opportunities in front of me, and then I can go with my heart. So basically, this is what MBA do to you and what a particular entrepreneur is. Now, the question comes to us is like, do you have an idea? What do you want?
Yeah,
So,
just one more thing, Vatsal.
yeah, sure.
So like I've gone through a few interview write-ups,
Yes.
where if I say that I improve my risk-taking ability by doing MBA, the professors kind of say that we teach you to reduce your risk. So you necessarily do not learn this thing in MBA. So how do I answer that? That my that I am in a better position to take up risk after MBA. So the profs kind of shoot it down. So I mean, how do I answer that?
Yeah. So just to summarize your question, that profs say that we teach you to reduce the risk,
Huh.
and you are saying that after 2 years we'll be more capable to take the risk.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, see, MBA is a journey. It's not just the end. And I think my answer to this question would be that, sir, risk is a total mindset game. So after MBA, I'll get immense opportunities. If I'm getting immense opportunities, my risk appetite will be slow, and I'll have more confidence to take the risk.
Hmm.
And second thing is, once you get the holistic view, you meet thousands of people, you meet hundreds of your individual, you have thousands of alums around. I think definitely you should take that risk.
Okay.
And anyhow, if you are doing from a good B school, top 20, 25, I think this answer is justified, that anyhow you'll get the job. And now we have seen that the job market and entrepreneurial people, they are much more in demand. So maybe so a failed startup person might be having much more experience than a person who is running a business for 5 years, a sustained business for 5 years. So it's better to, if you want to have a new initiative in your company, so big companies might be looking for people like them who have taken risk at their initial years, no matter they have failed or what.
Okay. Thanks.
So I think one of the major questions which comes after that is like, why do you want to get into an MBA and why not you start your startup right away? So I would like to answer that as well, because I think you can start your startup anyhow. You can do it. So it depends on how you have framed your overall thing, that I want to be a thorough entrepreneur just as soon as I pass the MBA, or it's like I'll take a couple of years of work ex and then I'll do it. So I think it's important to be a diplomatic wherever you're answering this thing, and you need to say that, sir, even if I want to start something, I want to build a big empire. It's not like I start a small company, I take couple of crores or millions of funding, and then I shut it down. So a proper experience is also required. So MBA is not just a MBA will give me a lot of it will shape. I may join some company and take it, but in this 2 years, whatever the vision I'm having, I'll try to place myself in that kind of business stream, and then I'll take the judgmental decision. Apart from this, one more question is like some people just say that I have an idea and they just defend it that I have a good idea, and I think after going to B school, my idea will get more finishing and I'll get more knowledge about this idea and then I'll start. Again, I think that answer can be framed in a better way by saying that in B school, so your idea will be your own. The basic mainstream idea would be same, but then the business model you can learn in a B school. So you won't get a better idea, but you will get better ways of implementing that idea and getting something out of that idea. So it's always like whenever you start, your start should be foolproof. You should have thought through the whole idea. So I think being a single person or maybe a group of 5 or 7, you might not gain that kind of deep-sightedness in your idea. And maybe after going to B school, discussing with similar kind of people, profs, applying different techniques, scientific techniques, maybe some marketing techniques or business related acumen you get, and then you can just go and you can say that my idea will be more robust in this way and I'll be more ready for my idea. So that is one. And one more thing I wanted to say here is like you should also be prepared with some of the answers. Like if you say that I want to be an entrepreneur, then it should reflect whenever you are there in the interview. So you should be active, agile. You should have read thorough about what a startup is, and because a startup is a very inflated term these days because everybody is getting millions of funding. So you say startup. But what used to happen pehle, it's basically a dhanda, right? It's a business. So even if you start a chai shop or a kiosk, it's a startup, right? You manage 2 or 3 people. So startup is something you take a calculated risk. You put some amount of investment. That investment could be your time, energy. It can be opportunity cost of the company you have left. It can be the obligation of 4 other people who are working with you, their salaries. So all these things you keep in mind, and then you say that yes, I think I'll be that kind of entrepreneur. So you should relate it with some of the entrepreneurial activities which you might have done in past. So if you have 1 or 2, you can say that. So one activity could be a small activity that your house or your living by getting an extra amount of earning, or other entrepreneurial activities could be like you decided a particular trip and you divided the whole trip among your students and you got the best deal, you decided the best trip route, or you got the best discount, something like that. So it should show that you have taken some initiative and you have achieved a particular goal. So always complete the loop that I took the initiative. These were the calculated risks which I took. Some decisions went pretty wrong, some decisions went pretty right, and then this was finally the conclusion, and this was something I added. And also these were the things I had. So one good from cases, entrepreneurship is not just starting something new. It's also in a particular environment, giving a particular direction to that environment and starting something very different altogether. That is also entrepreneurship. So there's a term called as intrapreneurship. So it's like when you go in a particular company, you head a different vertical, you head a different team, and then you reach out or you start a different channel for that business. So that is also something. So you can say that I have entrepreneurial attitude. I'll try whichever company I go, I'll take the initiatives, calculated risks, and then I'll see that if I have the right team and right idea, I'll jump and start something of my own. So I think that was all related to the questions which were given.
Yeah, okay. So, Vatsal, just to
anything you want to add here?
Yeah, so I mean the questions of I think the question of why not startup now versus starting up after MBA is yeah, you have more or less covered that, saying that we can I mean meeting so many people can help us understand the whole business perspective better, and I mean do much better in terms of scaling up as well. And the question of, I mean, the other question of that most of the successful people. So yeah, one more question that might come up is that all the successful people are not MBAs. So why do you want to do MBA? So they like, rattle off all sorts of college dropout examples and all that. So just one, on how to tackle this question, and then probably, yeah, we can.
Yeah, correct. So see, again, I'll give an advice that we should relate it to our story. So everyone who is successful, if Dhirubhai Ambani is successful or if, Tata is successful, they have their own story. They have their different time frames where they started. They might have got different things from their hierarchy or from their past, and that's how they are there. But if you see all the big businesses, how many of them are run by MBAs? You'll see a major chunk of that is run by MBA. So although an empire has been started by somebody else, but then they are being managed by the people like who have done MBAs and who have a proper degree. And that's how that degree has weightage in Indian market. So I think for such kind of answers, you should say that yes, sir, there are both kinds of examples, and I think that is there because it's not just about that you have the holistic knowledge of the business and you can create any idea into a big business. It's also about you are there in a market, you see that there is a demand, you exploit, and then you start and you create empire out of it. So again, I would say it all depends on the attitude. If you have a proper theoretical 2 years of well set up MBA degree or a MBA environment exposure, it will surely help you from whatever you are today. So if you have an idea today, you have a proper team and you think you have the right kind of people, 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line, you can have the right kind of funding and you can again have these kind of people working for you.
We are losing your voice.
Definitely after MBA, I'll 2 years. Oh, can
Yeah,
you
so
hear now?
yeah, this is better now. So, I mean, can you just frame that part again on, hiring MBAs, etc. That was some, I
Sorry,
think,
so
things, yeah.
where you lost me?
Where you are talking about that we can, a few years down the line, we can hire MBAs
Yeah,
and
correct. Yes.
that.
So see, the answer, the trade-off is between you starting right now today and you starting 2 years down the line. So if you have a nice idea, if you have a nice team, and everything is ready, then definitely you should go about for with your idea right away. But most of us are not very clear. Our vision is not very clear. So these 2 years will give you a very good platform to discuss with right kind of people who have the business acumen and different skill set, and you have the right kind of peers with which you can network and get that their ideas as well to modify your business model. Now if they even press you that you need to start right now, then you can easily say, sir, what I am today and what I'll be 2 years down the line, it all depends how I utilize these 2 years. Definitely I have the zeal to start something of my own,
Hmm.
and I'll intensify day by day. And I'll also try to make up a good team because right now I don't have a good team, and I am sure I'll get right kind of people and right kind of mentors with which I can start. And here one more point you can add that, sir, if you are saying that basically I should start away right now, then there should be no incubation cells in any of the IIMs, right? Every IIM is having a proper incubation cell where they want to nurture people who have the right kind of skills and that is they want to nurture to like in formulating their ideas and strategies. So that is something you can add to it.
Okay. Can you just repeat on that incubation cell part? We kind of lost you on that.
Okay, I was saying that many a times these professors might push you that you
Correct.
should start right away. Why to waste 2 years and 20 lakhs and all? So see, whatever the fees you are paying is not the cost. It's actually an investment. There is a huge difference. So when you buy something, there is a cost to it. But when you don't know what can be the highest expectation out of it. But with some expectation, you put your money. That is never a cost. It's an investment. So you say, sir, I am investing my 2 years, my energy in an environment where I'll learn whatever I can and I'll make this idea better. And apart from that, if you say that if I should definitely start right now, I think most of the B schools have the incubation cells and that will again help me. So I think B schools also have this, fundamentally they also support that people who are having an idea and they want to go ahead with that, they should be supported. And I think B school like so be whatever XYZ, if they're having a incubation cell will definitely help me in this.
Okay. Vatsal, one more question that if I already have, an idea on what I want to start up with. So, in how much depth do I need to know about it? Would they be questioning me on that? And also, if I know really deep about that, then there is again a possibility of them saying that you just start up now, and you don't need to do an MBA, you know everything. So how much do I tell them about my idea or how much I know, etc.?
Yeah, correct. So it depends again. So when you frame this kind of answer, there should be two things clear in your mind. One is, do you actually have an idea, or you are just want to portray that I have just a thought? So there is a difference between an idea and a thought. So you should definitely be clear. If you don't have any idea, then don't go with this. If you have an idea, then you should know what is the utility of the idea. That would be the first thing. So say today that I have an idea to decrease the dropout rates of primary students in the country, then you should be thorough that what your idea is. Now if you go and say that I will create all the PPTs and and all, it's just nothing, right? Because there's no quality of education, or it's there. The minimal education is available, but even people are dropping out because of different reasons. Secondly, here you are not clear what is the
You are not audible.
yeah. So that you, so first that if they go in deep, then you should know that what are the current competitors and how the things are happening right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, so utility once is cleared, and then you know how competition is working, or how the, so might be two things. There might be competitors out there, or there might be situation which you are trying to improve. So most of the people have some social ideas or something like education or skills or something like that. There you need to say what are the lacunas in the current happening properly. Now these, but this is through this thing with my present I have to do these things on to go ahead with something like this. Now, after that, if you have some tech related ideas, then definitely you should know which are the tech companies who are there. What is an app based model? What are things you need? How you market? What is happening in the over things? It's good education. I want to improve the quality education. So you should saw in how many one state to another. So these kind of things you can read and learn.
Okay. Um, I don't think there are any more questions. Yeah.
So maybe I was just having two or three things. So like recently how the fundings have happened,
Hmm.
and you should be aware of them. So something like Ola, what is the difference between Ola and Uber, Food Panda, Tiny Owl, these are some of the companies which have got good funding right now. So you should be aware of these basic companies and what kind of models these companies have. So how a Myntra is different from Jabong, what are the losses these companies are making, why there are losses. And everybody says that e-commerce is on a is a bubble. Then you should have clear understanding what a bubble mean, or is the losses are against the growth these companies are seeing, because they are doubling, tripling their revenues every year. So there has to be some loss against it. Then whenever you have a tech related idea or something very innovative, which is more of an aggregator sort, something like a Practo, or something like again any of the food or tech companies, or something like a TaskBob, Dormant, these are the companies which are aggregators. So you should be aware that how you will uplift the category. Customers are not actually ready to use it, so you need to give lot of incentives. Now what is the cost of that incentive? How many times you need to do that incentives? Is this just a one-time incentive you give and you will convert the customer, or there is a lifelong cost of that customer? So something of those things you should be clear in general. Secondly, you should be clear what is a seed funding, who all are basic seed investors, something like an Indian Angel Network or some institutes like seed funding of IIT Powai. These are basic things which you should know about seed funding. And what about what is a VC, what is a venture capitalist, what is a private equity, and what is basically a public investor? So you should know all these things, different stages, how these happen, and maybe one or two companies you should know that these are the total funds they have collected from the market. Apart from that, you should be aware of what a valuation is, how a company is valued, how is it different from revenues, what is GMV, what is bottom line, what is top line. So these are something, if you go on reading on Google, you will get to understand with these pointers. Then apart from this, I think some of the things you should know. So if you are actually an enthusiastic and you wants to start up something maybe 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, but the signals you will start giving from today, and those signals might be you started reading what are the policies changes which are happening. Something like Make in India, the conference just happened 2-3 days back. Narendra Modi ji traveled to Mumbai, so you should be aware what happened, what were the conclusions, and then you should have 1 or 2 points of your opinion. And then something like Make in India, how it will be different. Everybody just speak about tech, tech, tech. Is tech the only thing? Do you think manufacturing is a big thing? There is a lot that can be done over the ground. There's a lot which can be done on the field of education, decreasing the cycle. Something like a Chopal Sagar model, can it be implemented across the nation through a government agency? So you should be clear about all these things. I think this would be more than sufficient regarding this particular question.
Okay, fine. So, yeah, thanks, Vatsal, for taking this wonderful session. I'm sure this will help a lot of candidates who have, both these aspirations of starting up and also doing MBA, and kind of dread getting trapped in this question of why do you need an MBA for entrepreneurship. So I think this will definitely help them in answering this in a very powerful manner. Thanks a lot for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Pleasure is mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.